We're back with our next model, Katie. I'm going to do a high graduation cut on Katie. Now this is a terrific cut. Katie likes her hair a little bit longer on top, although it's still very short, but I'm going to take the bottom part and make it a little closer and more graduated on the underneath. Now the way I'll start this is I will lay her the comb right here. We're going to section off the top part. We're right where the head begins to round, we'll section. And the same thing on the other side. Right where the hair begins to round on the flat of the head will be sectioned. Let's make sure I got you right. Yeah, that's good. Now, in the back, it's the same thing in the back. This is very important. It'll work on every single head, no matter what the shape. Is to measure on the flat. You'll never go too high or leave it too low. Now on the back, let's take the comb right where the hair begins to grow. I'll lay the comb right here, and she'll be right about her occipital bone. So let's just section that little corner out and include it with the top, so I won't go crazy and cut that off, because I need that. I need that little section to make sure her head's just right. Now, I've got everything combed up and out of the way. Now, the way I'm going to do this, and the pure high graduation form is graduated on the flat of the head, which is the shortest part, and it's longer on top without a weight line. That's what distinguishes it from the low graduation. High graduation is longer on top, shorter on the bottom. Now, we can proceed with this in different ways. Some people might opt to do this. They might opt to do section by section. Because Katie's already short, I'm going to opt to do it just scissor over comb to achieve my results. I want to have this longer in here. So I'll just lift that up until I get it right where I want it. And we'll just go right around the head form, right where I have it sectioned. Scissor over comb, making this the shortest part on the flat of the head. Let's comb it down and see what we have, because with Katie's, it's very important to us, and I want this closer, but I'm opting to leave some softness in front of the ear to have a little fun with. So we're still going to have her in a high graduation with the lower perimeter graduated. Same thing on her neckline. I'm lifting it up and I am cutting, creating a high graduation haircut with softness at the neckline. And you see how you can change these little cuts around and achieve just what you want to have. You know, this could be shorter, much shorter than it is. I'm opting to leave a little softness there. And you see when I turn her to the back, you can see how that's already working. You know, still some softness here, but removing a lot of the bulk. Now let's turn her to this side and do this side just by holding it up, taking the bulk out, but still leaving some of that hair in the front of the ear so that we have a little softness to play with in the style. But just lifting up, doing scissor over comb, taking out the bulk area. Because Katie's a short-haired girl, but she likes a little bit of stuff to play with around the edges. And you know, I found that you can do hair as short as you want to, as long as you leave that perimeter soft. You know, if I were to cut a straight line in there, we've gone into a whole different thing, and it will not have the appeal that softness has. It doesn't have that fluid look to it. So we're going to leave all that soft, just lifting it up, getting this graduated right at the bottom until we come out just right. Let's take just a little more. See, you have a little way to play with the rhythm on this haircut till you get it just right. You can eyeball it and see what's appealing to your eye. Let's get just a little more off. I think it's real fun to play with a natural neckline, not go in there and just cut it off. Anybody can do that. My husband can probably do that. To me, it's not very creative to go in there, lay the scissors down there, and cut it off. Now, I'm speaking of a personal preference. If you want to cut yours off, go ahead and cut it off, but not mine. Okay, now we've left with longer top. This is short. This is her longest part. This is what dictates and gives us the high graduation cut. Now what I'll do is I've combed it down over the natural fall of Katie's hair, and I'm going to go around the head form, just diagonal partings. Let's turn it so we can see this. And just any that's over a little bit, still keeping this top longer, but I'll just do diagonal partings just to fit that hair right over it, doing a little point cutting so it just blends in there. When it ends up, she's still longer on the top and shorter on the bottom. And that is what really dictates this form and makes for great styling of it. It can be a little edgier. She can comb it out smooth. She can do it edgy. We'll probably do it both ways. Just combing the hair down over the natural fall and incorporating a little of this, meshing it together, so to speak. Meshing the top and the bottom, but point cutting so that I don't have any blunt lines there. The little symmetric cuts that I've designed are really, when you finish looking at this DVD, you're going to have a whole gamut of cuts that you could choose from. And the nice thing with consultation, it'll open up a lot of doors for the consultation on how to consult with the client, and you can solve their problems with their hair very easily because you know all the different ways that you can do the cuts and the shapes to complement a face, to do what's really great for the texture of the hair and what their hair is going to do. Just cleaning the edges a little bit. And I'm going to leave some of the length right in here because I want that to totally be longer than the bottom. And that's our little high graduation cut with a little softness around the ears. When I come back, it'll be finished and I'll do all the little tweaking to it. We'll be right back in just a moment. I'm back with Katie. This was our little high graduation cut. Remember, we did scissor over comb on the bottom, got it nice and close in the lower perimeter on the flat of the head. A little more length on the top. What distinguishes it from low graduation? It's longer on top, shorter on the bottom with no weight line in between. So this is a really great little cut. I mean, Katie's hair was already short, but this gives her a little bit more defined look. And still, if she wanted to let it grow, she could, or if she wants to stick it up, we're going to give her two looks. I'm showing her this way with it just sleek so you can see the shape, and then we'll style it a different way and we'll show you that also. But just to go in afterwards, I went in afterwards and just really tweaked it a little bit. Going in with the point of the scissors and taking a little bit out because Katie's got real thick hair, so you just have to really adjust it for the type of hair you're working on. You may want to go, I like a little bit more of a uneven hairline, so I really left a lot of it kind of ragged on the back just so that you see the little pieces and it's consistent and it works top to bottom. But just go in and do the amount of little tweaking that you feel like that hair needs and take out whatever you want. If you want to go in here and take it with a texturizer, go ahead, because it's not going to change your length. It'll just add those little pieces, so when we add a little pomade, you'll see all the little pieces in there, and it really works great for Katie. When we come back, we'll see her all finished and her whole look.